Seeing the case for the first time, passive Seasonic, the airflow is completely blocked. Okay, we've got some accessory kits. What's that? Internal bay. This one is gorgeous actually. This thing only is so important to have. Okay, something else. Another bay. Another, I don't even know what this is. Okay, this is not gonna be easy. Looks really nice. It's simplistic looking. I really like it. It's smaller than the H5M. Couple things right off the bat I do and don't like. We've got all these holes here on the sides and we've got the filter here. So if we want to filter everything, maybe it works, I don't know, maybe the air goes straight up here, but why would you need holes here? Seems like a workaround to get more air from the side, which will not be filtered because the filter is here. So a little bit strange. I'll need to test this. This covers, they don't move a lot, and even to the extent they do move, there is a chance you see the cables, and this is from the factory, it's not my cables. If you close it hard enough, you may chop your cables. This door opens this way, which is not perfect for me, because when you open the door this way, it means you need a lot of real estate to have it open. Like, I mean, there can't be anything here which obstructs the way, because you need to open it fully and then you can take it off the hinges, which is not good for me. The H5M is better. As you see, the H5M opens from the top. And one additional thing that I think could have been done a little bit better, this top cover here is great. One of the reasons why I bought this case, to have those openings and also to be able to close it. Great idea. However, this hole here, you see, it's not covered. It's open, so some of the dust will be getting through. It won't be much dust, but there will be some. And this cloth will get dirty. You see, it's white. It will get dirty from my fingers. It will get dirty from the dust. So I think they could have put something a little bit different here. Maybe something like here, where you see there is this loop here. Works great. So they already have the mechanism. 2 amazing USB ports. I really wish there was 4 USB ports, as there is in my H5M. H5M is a bigger form factor, so I understand. This is a little bit smaller case. These types of cases, they use 2 ports. However, having 4 ports would have been really great, because I end up using those front panel USBs for some reason very, very often. By the way, check this out. 3 140mm fans can totally fit on the top side. This 600S is advertised as can only support 3 120s or 2 140s, but these are 140s, and I could totally fit 3 of those there. That's probably what they meant. You can physically fit 3 140s, but the screws, you have the screws there, and this one goes behind the edge, that one on the side as well, so you cannot properly fasten them, but you can physically fit them. And if you think about some ways to fasten them, I think it's possible as well. By the way, oh shit, man, these velcros, they are not the highest quality. They hold okay, not really good. You can see some particles falling down from them. This is a good velcro tie. Was with the graphics cards, holds much better. No particles falling down from it. They hold, they do the job, but just to mention, the quality is not as high. Also, very important thing, the cable management. It's amazing on this case. Like, this looks nasty. I made it look nasty because I don't want to spend much time cable managing, but because you've got a lot of space in it, check this out. Works flawlessly. Never worked with Cooler Master. Cooler Master is a bigger case, but the cable management was much worse there. You didn't have enough space in the back there. So this is great. One of the reasons I do have this mask, this Gigabyte controller uses a lot of auxiliary cables I'm not even using, but like I cannot disattach them. So if not for this controller, there would be less cables, it would be much cleaner and leaner setup. So speaking about the acoustics, they do provide this bonus here. Like, you see these panels, they have this, as Phanteks says, acoustic treatment. The back panel also has this. Seems very thin to me. I don't know if that's nice to have this touch, but I really doubt it does work, because this is the proper acoustic treatment, you see. Like, to be able to consume some noise, you need some surface area, so it transforms it into heat. You've got 4 bays like this for hard drives. A hard sell, considering the fact everybody's using SSDs now and NVMe's, not even SSDs, but you've got 4 bays in case you need to do some video surveillance system. Also, one additional touch that no PC case manufacturer seems to be aware of: rubbers. Rubbers everywhere. They provide some isolation from the dust and from the sound, so this is a great idea. You see, you even have some dents, especially for these rubbers here, so that's great. I wish everybody knew about this and could actually reproduce this, because this is great. Cooler Master doesn't have those. I had to do those myself. Another important thing, we need to discuss the competition. For example, Phanteks' own P500A, very similar to P600S. So why I've chosen the 600 instead of the 500? Many people say the 500 is a better looking case, and this strip is RGB actually on the 500, which is not RGB here, it's just regular panel, no RGB. Well, 500A does not have such advanced dust filters. For me, this is very important because my flat is very dusty. So there is one amazing dust filter here, the mesh, and there is a double dust filter there. One small fine grain dust filter here and a bigger on the front. You've got this fine dust filter, you've got this big one here. If we talk about Lian Mesh 2, Lian Mesh 2 is a very strong competitor. It is cheaper, but there are various reasons why I have not chosen the Mesh 2. First reason, Mesh 2 uses 120mm fan on the back. For me, this is a deal breaker. I would like to use a 141 here, as well as on top I can use 2 140s here and 3 140s here. The Mesh one can use only 2 140s here. So the fan sizing is not as great on the Lian as it's here. 140s are great because H500M supports 2 200mm fans on the front. Those did not prove effective at all. They do not push, they did not penetrate enough. The static pressure is not good, so they cannot break through the obstacles. And apart from that, 200s, like, they are not RGB. Those are very difficult to find, they're very rare. 140s just, I think, is gonna work better in this case. These 140s, and any 140s actually to that matter, are the best middle ground. Like, you've got the best airflow, the best size, the best penetration. So having 6 of those is great. It's just great. So it's a big advantage. Speaking about the airflow, I have tested it and I have set them to 60 to 70%. Even if my computer is 100% load with 3090 here, you know, this thing gets hot. Even having this on 60% is enough. Having these fans on 60% means they are quiet, but still the airflow is great, so everything is cool inside. So amazing. Like, I could not achieve this with my H500M with those 200mm fans on the front and 140 on the back and a couple of small ones on the top. So great. For the airflow, this case is just amazing. To be fair, the H500M does support 2 140mm on the front, not 3. You may have 1 140 on the back, and you may have like 3 120s on the top, but because of this glass that this case has on the top, like, this is not really effective. So the cooling performance is good actually, but just not as good as the Phanteks. The other reason, you may use, well, not my use case, but you may use another ATX here to put your motherboard, and you can use this as a dual PC setup. Not my use case, but still, it's a nice addition to have. So this case, a little bit bigger. I prefer to have bigger cases. Lian Mesh 2 is a little bit smaller, still fine. That's not the reason why I chose this one, but that's a nice thing that this one has, that one doesn't. Another thing, enclosure. The P600S is closed from the side, and the Lian has this mesh here, which affects the noise, and my microphones usually are situated on the side, so noise coming from this panel is somewhat important for me. So because Lian Mesh 2 has this mesh here, which is great for cooling, but Personally, for me, it makes a difference. It makes a little bit more noise from the side. So a little bit non-typical use case, but still very important thing to me. The filters are great here. Lian Li Mesh 2, like the filtering system is just grills and nothing like double-sided filters like it is here. So filtering is way better here. This one has one glass panel, and on the back it isn't glass. It's typical aluminum panel on the back, which is important. I do not need to have two glass panels on two sides. Glass tends to break, so you're running more risk just plain having that panel on the back. Another thing, the weight. Glass is much heavier than the aluminum panel, so I personally like the H5M has two glass panels. So if it's up there, why would I need to have a glass panel? Nobody sees that. Nobody wants to see my cables. So Phanteks, great work. No need for two glass panels. There are some options from Cooler Master, which is similar to Lian Li. The cooling performance is a little bit worse, and the design choice is a little bit odd to me, so that was not like a decision. The three primary contenders were the 500A from the Phanteks, 600S, and the Lian Li Mesh 2. So my biggest problem with this case is that it does not allow you to have any opening here, so now I have to cut it. Like, there is this small hole here, but this is a deal breaker for me. It almost was. Like, I still bought this case, but I've been thinking really hard, because you see on the side we have this changeable panel. We can put it both ways. It means that we can put our power supply facing bottom or facing top. However, if we put it facing bottom, some people do it. I prefer not doing this because this filtering rarely works well, and I use passive supplies, so I prefer having my supplies passively cooled. If your supply is passively cooled, you need to put it upside down so the air gets out. Having this panel here, it is not possible to do it at all, because your power supply will not have air at all. It will burn. So I've decided that I will use a hacksaw, maybe some electric hacksaw, to make a hole here so it will be usable with my Seasonic passive. But well, it's not fully passive, it's semi-passive, but I always keep it upside down. It's not even upside down, right? It's a common practice right now to use it that way. I've taken my passive Seasonic facing upwards and the airflow is completely blocked. Now I've put this riser block here, so this is used to put your GPU vertically. So when I cut this out, I need to make sure that this stays in place. I don't damage it, and it takes a lot of space here. But anyway, having a little hole here is better than nothing. I think I'll use a pencil to mark everything down how it should be. So it's gonna be something like this, a square hole. And guys, if you plan to do something like this, you also need tools for that, right? So I had to go and buy this stuff. I need this anyway, but still, you can use a plain hacksaw, but if you use a typical hacksaw, this will not be straight. Like, you can manage, but it's not gonna be as straight as opposed to when you use a jigsaw or something like that. So yeah, factor those expenses in. Also guys, having metal dust inside of your case is very dangerous, so you don't want any short circuits afterwards. So I use magnets wrapped in paper. So I put them underneath, and when the metal dust goes down, it gets stuck to the magnets. And you use pieces of paper so you can then unfold them and throw them away, because if you don't use paper, the dust will attract to the magnet. After that, it's very difficult to remove the dust from the magnet. But if you use paper, it's much more easier that way. Check this out. I have only started, I drilled a small hole, and already how much metal dust there. So I drilled a little bit bigger hole, and this is as much metal dust I get. Magnet is inside, so you just unfold this and wrap it and throw it away. We have made it. I also used some hacksaw just a little bit on the corners. Check this out. We got one round magnet and one square magnet, a couple of small magnets. Yeah, need to clean all of this up really well. Let's see how it worked out. We have a hole. We have our power supply, which is slightly bigger than the hole, but as you see, a lot of space is uncovered. Not all of it, not all of it. I still wish we had more open in here. So about one third is still covered, which is not critical. This should still be okay. But yeah, if we wish to uncover it even further, we will have to give up our vertical GPU mount. I don't use the vertical GPU mount, but I still would like to have this capability in this case. So if this works the way it is right now, we'll stick to it. Now let's get to the assembly. And by the way, these Phanteks proprietary fans, supposedly good, but they cannot be as good as the best on the market Noiseblocker fans by Blacknoise. You may see a review of the Noiseblocker fans on this channel as well. Compare them to the Noctua, which is the industry standard, so to speak. 6 of these fans cost more. They costed me more than the whole Phanteks PC case. There is this bracket, the vertical support bracket. I forgot to install. No way. This is a thermal probe, so this piece here was the hottest one when I measured, so thermal probe is attached to this plate here. So it says install the GPU first and then the bracket, anti-sag bracket, that's what it is. Weird placement on the back for some reason here. Why it's not, let's say, here on this side, because this side usually sags, so we need some support here, but that bracket installs in that corner. Strange. What does this have to do with any anti-sag? So you've got your graphics card that went through. These 2 pins are perfectly supported by the case itself, which is iron, so everything is well here. And this anti-sag bracket, look, you're supposed to put it here. What do we achieve? Nothing. It will still sag from the other side. Like, I don't get it. Maybe please indicate in the comments. Maybe it will add some couple of percentages of anti-sag, because these may sag. Where will they sag? They are already flat into the iron case, so yeah, strange. You do need support from the other side, as all the other cases do. You may have some anti-sag mechanisms here that support this side. Instead, you have an anti-sag mechanism that supports this from that other side. H500M is like classic. You've got your ruler here and you can support it like a lift. But this one is more like a gimmick to me. We may install it just for laughs. What have we achieved? We just attached a piece of metal onto the case. We could as well just take a piece of metal and attach it somewhere here and say this is an anti-sag bracket, to the exactly same result as we did there. Doesn't work. Power. Quite nice. Really windy. Whoa, that's a lot of wind. We'll test it thoroughly, how it performs, but so far the aesthetics are awesome. Not perfect, yes, I have some black elements, but it works for me. I don't care. Another thing that's really nice and clean, this glass is not tinted. It's fully transparent, snow white as they call it, and the visibility is great, which I like, because this H500M, the glass was black, so you could barely see what was inside. Not the case with this one, much better. As if it's not even there. To sum it all up, the looks are good enough. Looks are amazing actually, and there are various colors you may choose from. The size is great. It's big enough to fit dual PC setup. You may fit dual PCs here. I wouldn't want to do it, but you can if you need to. It's not too huge. You see, like this shelf, I had some problems fitting in H500A, the Cooler Master here. This one fits great. So it's not a small box, but it's quite a big one actually, but it's good enough. It does everything it should do, so the size is amazing. So dust filters are definitely a plus. It will not keep all of dust in, but it will keep the most. Manual is gorgeous. I haven't seen many cases, but I've never seen such a nice and detailed manual ever. Like, this manual is great. I never thought I need a manual, but actually turns out, you know what, you do need it sometimes. Also, you got this RMA paper. Also, very nice touch. Like, if you need to RMA a product, you have everything here, so amazing. Big plus. You've got the screw box. This is a great touch. Like, yeah, you don't need to have it, but why not? Got only one glass panel, and there is no glass panel in the back because you don't need it anyway. Everything clicks so nicely together. The fit and finish is great. Everything clicks together exactly the way it should. Also, this cable covers, I said I didn't like those because you may chop your cable. However, I never chopped anything, and I do like how it looks and the versatility it gives you. So I consider this actually a plus, not a minus. It can't be so that there are so many good things about this case and there is nothing bad. There is one thing that is very, very bad. And here it is. This passively cooled power supply from Seasonic is housed by this enclosure here, and this hole hasn't been there. If you watch this video since the beginning, you might have seen a solution for that, but initially this thing was closed. This means bad news because you cannot use passively cooled power supplies, because if it's passively cooled, all the heat gets out of this opening and goes to the top. I do acknowledge that not for everybody this passively cooled power supply is an important thing, and even if it is, you can fix it, so that's great. And last but not least, the price. It isn't astronomical, it's alright, it's fair. I paid around $189, and for the price you also get a fan controller, a fan hub, so that's a nice touch. You got this addition like for the price you pay, in case you need that. I didn't need that because I have a dedicated controller, but nice to have always. We're going to do a small comparison of the Phanteks proprietary fans, which we replaced, and we replaced it with the Noiseblocker Blacknoise. Maybe we actually shouldn't have done so. Maybe the Phanteks is actually better and we wasted our money for the Noiseblocker. So first we'll check the RGB. Okay.